drinks. Singapore has retained its crown as the maritime capital of the world, according to a respected biannual ranking. The Asian city has topped the tables, followed by Hamburg, Oslo, Shanghai, and London. But there's not much to celebrate. A slowdown in global trade and an excess supply of ships have put many companies out of business. Our reporter Alicia Chi is at the Singapore Maritime Week, and she joins us now from the event venue. Thank you so much for joining us. It looks like behind you, you have the Singapore port. A lot of challenges faced by Singapore, but it has been resilient.
That's right, Rico. Well, I think all that needs to be said is that the theme of this year's Maritime Week is navigating through challenging times. And to find out more about what's been facing Singapore, as well as the industry as a whole, I'm joined by Espen Poulsen, who is the chairman of the International Chamber of Shipping, as well as the president of the Singapore Shipping Association. Espen, thanks for joining us. So we're here at the Singapore port. Tell us, what makes Singapore retain its competitiveness, especially given all the struggles we've seen over the last few years in the industry?
Well, Singapore is a natural port. The port is world's now, in terms of containers, the second largest. But aside from the port, there's been built up a major international presence here of international ship owners. More than 140 companies have established themselves in Singapore, and is therefore become a cluster and a hub of a large size.
Well, we've seen container shipping companies, oil tanker companies, the Baltic Dry Index, which is a measure of shipping freight rates, plummet by more than 90% over the last couple of years. Basically, are there any bright spots that we can talk about?
Absolutely. I have to correct you there. On the BDI, the Baltic Dry Index, was at 290 about a year ago. It's now over 1,200. So although 290 was below operating costs and a very, very low level, nonetheless, there has been a recovery, and most owners in this segment are now cash flow positive. Still a long way to go, but a big improvement. As far as the containers are concerned, 2016 was a very, very difficult year, but Q4 was quite positive, and in fact Q1 of 2017 again has been somewhat ahead of expectations. So while still not great, it's definitely there's been an improvement. Tankers, on the other hand, had a great year in 2015, relatively speaking. 2016 was difficult, but I think the medium to longer term outlook for tankers is actually quite positive.
Well, what type of measures can the industry take? We're seeing quite a bit of consolidation, for example.
Yes, I mean, we have this saying that in 2016 it was 5 weddings and a funeral. There were five mergers, and there was 1 funeral, which was the sad demise of Hanjin. But I think that event actually, in a way, had a positive effect in the sense that it brought some more discipline to the supply side of the market, and the decision-making of the fleets in fewer hands, if you like.
Mr. Poulsen, thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, Rico, as you can see, tough times ahead, but still it looks like there's some uptick. Back to you.
Alicia Chi at the Singapore port for Singapore Maritime Week.